This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. It is Tuesday. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Good morning to you, and thanks for waking up with us this morning for another hour of news.
Yeah, some wet pavement out there. A little milder, but rainy. John has details for that. Good morning, John.
Yeah, the weather has gotten a little bit milder. That's the good news. We're up about 10 degrees from where we were 24 hours ago, but there are scattered showers around, and some of those could produce at times some moderate rainfall across the region. We have a chance of those kind of popping up almost any time over the course of the next couple of hours across the region. Then I think we'll get a little bit of a break in the rain shower activity as we head into the afternoon. We'll start to see those showers may perhaps redevelop. We have a first alert weather warning called for you this morning because of that possibility. Way out in Gulf waters, we do have a thunderstorm or two, which is visible by those red X's on lightning detection. So there is the potential across the state today, especially later in the afternoon, for a few scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. Right now, the heaviest of the rain located in inland areas, Wauchula, Arcadia, Ona, all seeing some light to moderate rain around that region, but basically, you know, nothing too terribly heavy across the area. We're looking at visibilities that are slightly reduced by mist mostly at this hour, but there is the potential for some patchy fog to develop across the region. Your school bus forecast today calls for that chance of a shower throughout the morning hours, and then again this afternoon, isolated this morning, scattered this afternoon, daytime high about 75. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Some issues on State Road 70 eastbound as you head toward 301. Also 14th Street West southbound heading toward Sarasota. Some slowdowns there. Speaking of which, the upper half of Sarasota County shows us a little bit of a delay there on 301 northbound around 17th Street. Otherwise pretty clear in that half of the county. South County all clear at 6:02 on your Tuesday morning.
And our top story this hour, a dramatic step towards improving relations between North and South Korea.
ABC's Lana Zek has details of the first discussions in 2 years.
North Korea has agreed to send their athletes, officials, and cheerleaders to the Olympic Games. North Korea's top delegate Ri San-kwon called the cooperation a New Year's gift to the Korean people, a sentiment echoed by Cho Myung-kwon, South Korea's reunification minister. After a year of increasingly worrisome missile tests by the Hermit Kingdom and escalating rhetoric between North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un and President Trump, the positive steps towards Olympic cooperation is being heralded as a symbolic step. ABC's Joo-hee Cho in South Korea.
Overall, the reaction here in Seoul is full of optimism. The North showing very strong determination to make this work out, says they hope this opportunity could lead to a groundbreaking momentum towards peace on the Korean peninsula.
Even President Trump, who had begun the new year by taunting North Korea's leader on Twitter, writing that his nuclear button is a much bigger and more powerful one than Kim's, has expressed cautious optimism.
If something can happen and something can come out of those talks, that would be a great thing for all of humanity.
But the talks continuing today have not resolved any of the North's nuclear issues, and when the issue of denuclearization was raised by South Korean delegates, it was not acknowledged.
And among the issues expected to be discussed today include the possibility of family reunification visits, as well as the logistics of the North's participation in the Olympics. And although economic and military concerns may not be actively discussed at Panmunjom today, they certainly are on the forefront of everyone's minds. Lana Zek, ABC News, Washington.
And in other news, President Trump plans to meet with Democrats and Republicans about immigration reform today. Now, the fate of recipients of the recently ended DACA program has yet to be decided. The White House also wants to make progress on fulfilling Trump's promise to build a border wall. Trump's insisted that any negotiation about protecting undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children must include a border wall. And more than 200,000 immigrants from El Salvador could find themselves without legal status in just a few short months. The Trump administration is ending the temporary protected status that covered Salvadorians who fled earthquakes that rattled the nation back in 2001. Now, officials say El Salvador has recovered enough from those quakes to remove that protection. Critics arguing the inhumanity of it to kick out people that have lived, worked, and started families here in America for more than 15 years. Now, TPS protectees only have until September of next year to find a legal way to remain here in the U.S. or face deportation. A deal is currently being discussed by senators who are working to reform immigration policy. Now, this deal could allow Congress to intervene in that case. And for more on the latest on breaking news and local news, plus your first alert forecast and traffic, feel free to download the updated version of our app. All you have to do is go to the App Store and check out under My Suncoast or WWSB, and you will get that app.
One day after Oprah Winfrey's emotional speech at the Golden Globes, there's renewed talk she should run for president. Two of her friends say she is actively thinking about a run in 2 years. She gave a speech on Sunday night focusing on women's rights in the wake of the Me Too movement. Oprah has yet to comment, but her longtime partner, Stedman Graham, said it is, quote, not out of the question. That speech gave Weight Watchers a lot to cheer about. The company's shares jumped 13% amid speculation that she could run for president. Winfrey has publicly backed Weight Watchers for years, attributing her weight loss success to its diet regimen. Winfrey also bought a 10% stake in the company back in 2015 and joined its board of directors. Since then, Weight Watchers has seen enrollment increase by 1 million members. Other political news now. A source close to Mitt Romney says the former governor was treated for prostate cancer over the summer. According to the source, the treatment was successful and Romney's prognosis is good. He is being considered now as a possible Senate candidate to replace Utah's Orrin Hatch, who is retiring later this year. New this morning, SpaceX launched its first mission of the year Sunday night, but now rumors are swirling they lost their top-secret Zuma satellite. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that it's no longer being picked up on tracking satellites, and the Space Intel reports that the source suggests that the Zuma satellite might be dead in orbit after separation. The company completed a record-setting 18 launches last year, and they plan to do even more this year.
In consumer news now, weather and climate disasters cost the U.S. $306 billion last year, a year that NOAA is calling the costliest year on record. 2017 saw hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria pound the U.S., followed by those wildfires that include the largest that California has ever seen. NOAA says it's seen an upward trend in billion-dollar disasters since it began tracking them back in 1980. Now, scientists attribute that to more extreme weather caused by global warming. They also say more people are living in danger zones, making disaster costs even higher when they do occur. And here in Florida, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Gwen Graham is writing a personal check for $1,200 in an effort to obtain public information from the state regarding the deaths at a nursing home following Hurricane Irma. Now, a dozen residents of the Hollywood Hills Rehabilitation Center died in the aftermath of the storm, which knocked out the facility's air conditioning system. Now, Graham says she has repeatedly asked the governor's office for public records, indicating who knew what during the emergency and when they knew it. Now, here's the interesting part, though. She has put up her own money. Now, according to the governor's office as well, the voicemails that she's after left on Scott's personal cell phone by nursing home staff were deleted after information was passed along to the proper state agencies. So yesterday, Graham was told she would receive the requested information promptly. She plans to share that information with the public.
Police in Miami detained a man for trying to take a shortcut across the field at the Miami International Airport. Well, he told investigators that he'd been dropped off at the airport to fill out an application for a job and decided to jump the fence once he realized he was in the wrong place in the airport. The Department of Homeland Security has now taken over that investigation.
And the U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to take up the challenge to the constitutionality of a Florida law which sets different tax rates for satellite and cable television services. Now, the court turned down Dish Network's appeal of a ruling last year by the Florida Supreme Court upholding that law. Florida's communication services tax is 4.92% on the sale of cable services and 9.07% on the sale of satellite TV services. Now, Dish Network argued that the different sales tax rates on satellite and cable are a form of protection which bars states from discriminating against interstate commerce.
The end might be near for that controversial beach treehouse on Anna Maria Island. The U.S. Supreme Court has now refused to take the case. Lynn Tran and Richard Hazen say the city of Holmes Beach gave them verbal approval. The city said they needed to get written approval, though. After they were denied the permit, they took their case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's our rights. It's also other people's rights. I don't have any word for it. It's you do according to the book, and you're going to end up losing everything.
Well, they spent about $30,000 on that house, and even more than that on the legal appeals. They've been denied at every level. Again, reaching out to the U.S. Supreme Court to take it. The High Court said, no, we've got other cases we want to hear instead. Now, some local residents want to start a petition drive or have a referendum about that to help that couple. But but as of right now, that's not.
Nothing yet. So it will have to probably come down at this point?
At this point, they're being fined $50 a day.
Yeah, going back to 2015.
Yeah,
it's a
right.
lot. Yeah, that's a
Right.
lot. That's been an interesting story to follow. A lot of interest in here.
A lot of strong opinions on that one. Right.
They sure are. We have across our region today a first alert weather morning. We've got some scattered showers in progress. We'll detail those for you and encourage you to check out our app this morning, our first alert weather app. Take it along with you, give you radar wherever you go.
What a deal. Also ahead, first alert traffic, and we'll tell you more about President Trump's so-called executive time.
We're going to tell you why the White House says the president is spending more time watching TV and tweeting when we come back.
It is right now 6:10. Here is a peek outside our window. You see some fog and some wet roads. Take it slowly. John's complete forecast next on Good Morning Suncoast.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's a first alert weather morning because of scattered showers that are around, and also because of some fairly heavy rainfall that came in during the overnight that may have left some ponding on roadways this morning. Plus, throw in a little fog as well. That's a potential this morning for development over the next couple of hours. This is our high-resolution model that shows over the next couple of hours. A little bit of rain shower activity certainly possible, especially in inland areas, and then a few scattered showers along the coast. As you put it through motion, you'll notice that scattered showers around, and then things kind of quiet down as we head into the later afternoon hours. Then we'll probably see another round of showers begin to develop late in the day. So the day planner kind of looks like this. By 9 o'clock, we'll have about a 20% chance of showers. That's it. Then things will kind of wind down. We'll have a period of just cloud cover with little chance of rainfall, followed by later in the afternoon a redevelopment of showers and potentially even a thunderstorm or two late in the day. But the rain chance only at about 30%, and most of those showers would be in inland areas. 65 by about 9 o'clock, 72 by 12, and then by 3, 75. So a warmer day in store for you. But the first alert weather morning anyway, called because of these scattered showers that are around. There are some out in Gulf waters as well. And we've had a pop or two of lightning on our lightning detection network further out in Gulf waters. So the atmosphere is somewhat favorable for thunderstorm development, though not very. So the isolated thunderstorm possible. Scattered showers have been around. They're still in progress in Wauchula, Ona, just outside of Arcadia now, all of this kind of rotating to the north, but there are a few areas of scattered showers out in the Gulf. Now, as I mentioned, these are kind of winding down. We're in the process of winding down. So over the next hour or two, expect to see less and less. A little bit of light rainfall just coming in along 41 between Manatee and Sarasota counties. And then further to the south, some scattered showers leaving Northport, moving into areas around Hidden River, Myakka, around in there. Light stuff, again, nothing really heavy. Further out in Gulf waters, there are a few heavier showers, but those will tend to kind of die down a little bit as they get closer to the coastline. Current air temperature 63. Dew point matches it at 63. So temperature and dew point come together with a 100% match, giving 100% relative humidity, and consequently that chance of some patchy fog out there again this morning. Watch for that as you commute, especially in inland areas. 64 Wauchula, 66 Arcadia, 66 Myakka, Perry 64, Bradenton 64, Sarasota 63. Lots of cloud cover around, rotating around an area of low pressure out in the Gulf. The thing about this low pressure area is it is producing some heavier rain out in the Gulf and to the north, but as this system kind of drops southward, it'll tend to just wash out and become a trough of low pressure that'll eventually give way to sunshine as we head into probably Friday or Thursday even into Friday. So morning showers, some patchy fog, more clouds today, and then that small chance of an afternoon shower as well. Southeast wind at about 10 knots, becoming northeast this evening. Light chop out there on your waters. We'll go with about 75 for our daytime high today with that 30% chance of rain. I think we'll probably eliminate the first alert weather morning as we get into about 9, 10 o'clock. And then tomorrow, about a 20% chance of showers lingering through mid-Wednesday, I'd say. We'll start to see some clearing occur during the overnight Wednesday into Thursday. It looks to be a pretty sunny day and mild as well with a 78-degree temperature, not too bad. Friday, we work in a chance of rainfall, maybe a thunderstorm, pretty good chance, especially in the second half of Friday because of a frontal boundary moving through, which will cool us off in time for the weekend. Back to daytime highs on Sunday, only near 60. So it'll be kind of a chilly day on Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. It is 6:18. Time now to take a look at your first alert traffic. Things are starting to pick up out there. You do have some wet pavement, so you might want to leave a few minutes early. There are some slowdowns on north and southbound 301, so give yourself some extra time. And then, of course, the bridges coming into Sarasota are starting to get a little clogged up. Got a little congestion on University Parkway and just a little bit on there on 41. And if you're heading into South County today, that roads are looking pretty good, pretty smooth throughout most of those if you're heading into Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda. All right, so what is life like inside the White House? Well, according to the website Axios, President Trump is spending an increasing amount of time in the White House watching TV and tweeting.
CNN's Jeannie Mose has a lighthearted look at the Commander-in-Chief's so-called executive time.
Time for something new in the White House. Executive time.
Quote-unquote executive time.
I love the new euphemism for TV watching as executive time.
In no time, the new time was plastered on a T-shirt, all because of a scoop by the website Axios.
The president's schedule has been secretly shrinking.
He's reportedly not coming to the office, the Oval Office, till 11 a.m. The White House calls it executive time.
It says that it's in the Oval Office, but that's not true. He's actually in the residence, watching TV, making phone calls, tweeting.
How executive time flies to Twitter. I'm going to start calling my naps executive time. Here's Zoe taking some executive time. How we spend our executive time, tweeted Comedy Central. Executive time sounds like something your dad says as he heads into the bathroom with a stack of magazines, newspapers. Voila, the executive time machine. The White House press secretary countered, saying, "The president is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen and puts in long hours and long days nearly every day of the week all year long." Remember the days when candidate Trump was dissing Hillary for a lack of energy.
She doesn't have the stamina. To be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
It takes stamina just to say stamina. Hey, if it weren't for executive time, maybe we wouldn't have gems like that stable genius tweet. A very stable genius at that, is how the president described himself.
I think this, if he doesn't call himself a genius, nobody else will.
Many found the genius in the stable to be Mr. Ed the Talking Horse. Hashtag stable genius gets his daily briefing. But even a stable genius likes to kick back and enjoy some executive time. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Oh, I love Jeannie Mose. Oh, we need to work on our own executive time.
Let's
Mine includes Netflix.
Approach the boss about that for us, would you please?
Right. How many hours are we requesting for executive time?
Start with 8.
Okay, I think that sounds right.
All right. Still heading Good Morning Suncoast. A family in Arizona is suing their child's dentist.
We're going to tell you more about a terrible infection that led to the 4-year-old's death and why the family now wants some answers when we come back.
Here's a peek outside our window. As you see, some wet pavement and some clouds. John's forecast on the way, 6:21, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Welcome back. It is 6:25 in the morning now. Ray Collins had a couple days off last week. I told John Scalzi it was because you were out trying to verify all the trivia facts from our trivia day last week. Turns out you were visiting Key West and had some pretty cool experiences.
Yeah, it was so chilly here. I went down there. It was still chilly down there, but yeah, a nice view of Key West. Took the shuttle ferry from
yeah, the Express.
Fort Myers.
I've heard good things about that too. It's a short ride, right? Just a couple hours.
3.5 hours actually.
That is not bad at all.
Nice time down there in Key West at Conch Republic. It is 6:25. We'll also update some local content on our respective Facebook pages as well today.
That's right. That's right. Can we see more of your pictures there as well? Had some cool helicopter pictures.
Yes, you will.
All right. Sounds good. Now, just a reminder, if you've got a story idea for us, maybe of some pictures of the kids heading back to school this week, we would love to hear from you on Facebook, Twitter, or our new Instagram page. So touch base with us there. All right, welcome back. It is officially 6:26, and an Arizona family has filed a lawsuit saying that their 4-year-old died from an infection after a visit to the dentist.
Wow, Gio Benitez has the latest from ABC News.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an Arizona family filing a wrongful death complaint against a popular children's dental chain over the death of their 4-year-old daughter. The parents of Lizeth Lars say they took their daughter to Cool Smiles in Yuma, Arizona in 2016 for what the dentist's office calls a routine tooth extraction. The family says they took her back the next day because of a fever and were sent home, saying the dentist told them the child would be fine. But days later, Lizeth died. The Lars' lawsuit alleges the dentist failed to meet the standard of care. A spokesperson for the dentist strongly denies the allegations, claiming there was no relationship between the dental care and the child's death.
I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because I want them to pay attention to what they're doing.
And we'll tell you more about this story coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I go with a Noro.
COPD tries to say go this way. I say I'll go my own way with a Noro.
Once Daily Anoro contains 2 medicines called bronchodilators that work together to significantly improve lung function all day and all night. Anoro is not for asthma. It contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. The risk is unknown in COPD. Anoro won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition, high blood pressure, glaucoma, prostate, bladder, or urinary problems. These may worsen with Anoro. Call your doctor if you have worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain while taking Anoro.
Ask your doctor about Anoro.
Get your first prescription free at Anoro.com.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, Manatee County deputies are still working to solve a number of cold cases from last year. We'll tell you what you can do to help catch some of these suspects.
Plus, speaking of suspects, law enforcement from 2 agencies think this guy is behind armed robberies in both Manatee County and the city of Sarasota.
Plus, teachers in Sarasota County are getting ready to protest a school board meeting today. We're going to tell you why they're fighting for their voices to be heard. Those stories and more coming at you right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning to you. It is 6:31 on this Tuesday, January 9th. Officially, all the kids are back to school. My daughter starts back in college today, so happy time in all the parents' household this morning. Go back to school, my children. Go back to school.
Indeed. Well, some wet pavement out there, John Scalzi.
Yes, and some patchy fog possible over the course of the next hour. Yeah, we got a low-pressure area that's been spinning out in the Gulf waters, bringing us all this cloud cover and some fairly heavy rainfall last night. Got some weather watchers reporting in. Becky in Old Mayaca's had some light rain, or does have, and 57 degrees with half an inch of rain during the overnight. Cooper and Richard in central Sarasota and in Northport, respectively, both have 63 degrees. Got some scattered showers in progress across the state right now, and some of them rotating back across our region. Though it's light rain for the most part, still call for a first alert weather morning because of the potential of some slippery roadways and potentially some fog that may form. Right now, though, visibility is not too bad across the region. Just watch for it, especially in inland areas. Local temperatures are mild, though, coming in the mid-60s. That's about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday at this hour. So we'll look for some pleasant weather, I think, as we head into mid-morning and later morning and into the afternoon before we have a chance of seeing those rain showers return. We'll talk about that in a few. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. First off, in Manatee County, little build-up there on State Road 70 in the eastbound lane as you approach 301. Otherwise, the usual slowdowns in Manatee County. Checking University Parkway there, some delays in both directions around Whitfield and Tuttle and Lockwood Ridge. Be aware of that congestion there early this morning. And farther south, now we see a little delays there at 41 in the northbound lane around Tarpon Point. 6:32 right now.
On topping our news this half hour, Manatee County Sheriff's detectives are still trying to close unsolved cases from 2017.
There were 22 murders last year alone in Manatee County, including a puzzling unsolved murder during a burglary in early July. A combined reward of $13,000 being offered now to find the killer in that one. The sheriff's spokesman says tips often make the difference.
A lot of times, information from the public is what can really push it over the top. You've got a good, strong case, but you just need that one last thing that will allow you to have the probable cause that you need to make the arrest.
If you can help solve any cases, call Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS.
And we're learning new details about a weekend shooting investigation in Bradenton. Police are giving more information on who they're looking for that may be responsible for injuring 2 men. They now have released this photo of a dark green Nissan Xterra SUV that they believe could be involved in that shooting. They're also asking for your help in identifying the person in this photo. Police say it happened along State Road 64 Saturday afternoon. Officers were called to a crash when they found both the driver and the passenger had been shot. The 22 and 24-year-old victims were taken to Blake Memorial Center for treatment. The driver remains in stable condition while the passenger is recovering in critical yet stable condition.
An update now on the man arrested for a pair of armed robberies at gas stations in Manatee County. They arrested this man, Joshua Rohrbaugh, for allegedly robbing 2 Shell gas stations at Knife Point. Well, now guess what? Police in Sarasota say he also matches surveillance video from an armed robbery Saturday night at the Circle K on Tuttle, south of Fruitville. Now he's facing charges in both jurisdictions.
And Sarasota police are looking to clean up the area of 23rd Street and Leon Avenue after reports of open-air narcotics transactions. Now, police attempted to arrest Irvin Brown for an open container in that area on Monday when he began to resist officers and was then taken into custody. Now, officers later found nearly 40 pieces of crack cocaine in Brown's pocket. He was arrested and charged with cocaine possession with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a church, as well as resisting a law enforcement officer, possession of drug paraphernalia, and an open container. Now, for the latest on these stories and local and breaking news, plus your first alert traffic and weather, make sure you download the updated version of our app. You can find it at the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. And beach erosion continues to be a major problem for people living on Manasota Key, especially those with homes that are right on the Gulf.
It's an issue for both Sarasota and Charlotte counties. It's right there on the border. So what is being done by the 2 counties? Our Rick Adams has the latest.
Well, as you can see, this beach erosion is very deep. We're talking about 4 or 5 feet deep. Sarasota County is now taking a good hard look at possible solutions to this problem. For Manasota Key homeowner Dr. Trevor Yardley, the sand in front of his beautiful piece of paradise continues to wash away. Beach erosion in front of his home and many of his neighbors' homes has become an all too frightening reality.
We do need to address it sooner rather than later. I think if we leave it too long, the next storm would come along and might just erode and or take out several of these homes.
Yardley and some of his neighbors have installed extremely heavy-duty sandbags in front of their houses as a temporary solution to protect their homes from ending up in the Gulf. Charlotte County, which shares Manasota Key with Sarasota County, has plans for a $23 million project which would repair the beach up to the county line. Sarasota County tells us they are paying $70,000 to Charlotte's environmental firm for initial engineering work to determine the best approach for beach nourishment on Sarasota's side of the key.
I think probably a permanent, like a rock revetment would be the ideal way to go. The beach nourishment may not last as long as one would like. It can, what is a span of 5 to 8 years?
This erosion is concerning not only homeowners, but for beachgoers as well. Glenn Van Arsdal has been visiting Manasota Key now for nearly a decade. He tells us something should be done to fix the beach.
It needs help. We need more sand brought in along the shoreline here.
As for Yardley, he says that he's happy to see that Manasota Key's beach erosion issues are now on Sarasota County's radar.
We're looking forward to working with them and accomplishing all of our goals.
And commissioners in Charlotte County will be meeting to talk all about this very, very soon. And then Sarasota County will move ahead with their next step. Reporting from Manasota Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Meantime, Manatee County will discuss the Anna Maria Island beach renourishment project going on there. Commissioners hope to replace the jetties along the beach there in Anna Maria Island. Up for debate, though, is funding. They're hoping to get some money for the potential project from the state or from the federal government.
Also happening today, the Sarasota School Board meeting is expected to be met with protests. The Sarasota Teachers Association is encouraging teachers and classified employees to picket that meeting. And this comes after contract negotiations stalled between the teaching union and the district. Superintendent Todd Bowden says he can't waver from the current proposal outlined to the unions, and an impasse could be declared if neither side reaches an agreement. A third party would have to be brought in to mediate future meetings.
Venice City Council will talk today about the condition of its old fire station. The 40-year-old building has never had any major structural work done to it. The fire chief says the roof leaks, there's mold, there's even rats in the building. After years of making small fixes, the city brought in a consultant to determine what needs to be done there. But it looks like the building may need to be knocked down and rebuilt, some say.
Facility, we've discussed possibly a 3-bay station. That station was built over 40 years ago, and the response that they had back then is different than what we have today. We just closed out with almost 3,800 calls this past year.
The initial report says a new building would cost about $5 million.
Members of the Sarasota Police K-9 unit are being recognized for their skills by law enforcement across the state. The inaugural Gulf Coast K-9 competition took place over the weekend. Sarasota Police Officer Jake Nelson and his loyal partner Bronson, they took first place in the obstacle course challenge. Now that course consisted of different maneuvers, shooting simulations, and a balance beam for both the K-9 and the officer. Nelson and Bronson were one of 19 teams in that competition. All the proceeds and donations raised will benefit the Cape Coral Animal Shelter, Paw for Patriots Foundations, and Holidays for Heroes Foundation. I've actually been to one of the K-9 competitions. This was back in Michigan, but they are so fascinating to watch. You will go home and you'll look at your own dog like, you don't do any of that, you know?
Remedial.
Right? You are not talented.
It's even a good name for a police dog, Bronson.
Bronson, tough name,
Yes,
right?
that's right. So the officer has to walk the beam too?
Yes, they both have to do it. Isn't that great? It's like it's a workout for them too. I love it. I watch that
And
stuff.
sit-ups also.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. First alert weather warning for us from some scattered showers. We'll talk about that after the break.
All right,
I know. It's
we're
got
all
me.
having, like, we're just sharing the cooties around here. Still here, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. More infections, the latest in Suncoast First Alert traffic. And they needed overtime, but there is a new national championship in college football.
We'll have highlights from the game that ended early this morning in just a bit, but first, let's go outside and see how it looks right now. Again, some wet pavement and some low-hanging clouds. We'll have John's complete forecast and a peek at this radar you're seeing right now. Lots of green heading north. Is it too far inland for you? Details on the way.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
First alert weather morning on the Suncoast because of scattered showers around. Nothing too terribly heavy, but it could be a problem for some commuters out there, and certainly for kids at the school bus stops. May want to wear some rain gear out there this morning. The chances of rainfall are very small, but they do exist, and there have produced overnight some fairly heavy rainfall. I don't think we'll see that kind of heavy rainfall this morning. Only some scattered light, perhaps moderate rain showers around. This is our futurecast. RPM computer model put into motion shows some scattered showers in inland areas, all of that kind of lifting north. As we head into the noontime hour, things have settled down. We'll be looking at prolonged periods, I think, of just mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. We do have a chance at seeing some isolated pops of rainfall, not out of the question, mostly like just drizzle or kind of like intermittent windshield wiper kind of rainfall, if you know what I'm talking about. You can see those popping up during the 3 p.m. hour as well. But again, prolonged periods for a lot of folks of no rain whatsoever this afternoon. And then as we head into the evening hours, maybe a thunderstorm or two, possibly. And then overnight, I think, will be a pretty quiet overnight. There'll be some cloud cover around. There'll be some breaks in the clouds, but not a lot in the way of any kind of rainfall potential till we get to tomorrow afternoon and evening, when we'll see a few scattered showers around again with about a 20% rain chance before all of this goes away and we're left with a pretty nice Thursday with the sunshine returning, mild afternoon temperatures as we await for another cold front, a stronger cold front on Friday. So the forecast kind of shaping up like this. Scattered rain showers around through the morning hours. It got some out in Gulf waters as well. No lightning pops being detected in any of these right now, but we have had some during these morning hours. So the atmosphere is just very, very mildly conducive for some thunderstorm activity, mostly out in the Gulf, though. Scattered showers, as you can see, are occurring. Mostly light stuff. The stuff that we had near the Skyway Bridge has now gone, so that's nice. Easy commute across the Skyway. Light rainfall moving through parts of Tallahassee along 301. Inland, there are some moderate rain showers in progress, mostly along 64 and 62, but nothing really too heavy. As far as the forecast goes, about a 30% chance of showers by 3 p.m. Light stuff, as I mentioned, 6 p.m. That's reduced to about 20%, and then overnight tonight, I don't think we'll see much at all, except a lot of cloud cover and some breaks in the clouds from time to time. 63 our air temperature, dew point 63 gives us 100% relative humidity. We're looking at 64 the air temperature, 65 in Fort Myers, 68 in Orlando. If you've got kids in Gainesville or Tallahassee, they're in the 50s there. The rest of us are in the 60s here locally. Forecast is looking not too terribly bad for boaters. Light chop anticipated, with winds kind of relaxing a bit during the evening, but there will be cloudy, and you will see a passing shower or two possible out there. Forecast calls for a 30% chance of showers later today with a 75 temperature. Tomorrow, 20% chance. Clearing on Thursday with a lot of sunshine around Friday. We start the day off sunny. We cloud up. We get a chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm on Friday as a front moves through, and that one cools us down for the weekend and the beginning of next work week. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at that first alert traffic out there at 6:48 this morning. And you're starting to see some of the breakdowns and some of the congestion that's going to start happening right now. North and southbound 301, and the bridges are starting to get congested as you come into Sarasota. And moving on to Sarasota County, we've got a little live shot out there. Mound Street at State Road 41, showing some of the wet pavement out there. Mostly slow going, starting to see some congestion, like we said. But there is one accident we have to tell you about. Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, there's an accident near Switchgrass Trail. Again, that's Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, accident near Switchgrass Trail. Now, if we're heading to South County again, running pretty smooth. You just have a couple little slowdowns right there going southbound on 41. In this hour's Health Smart, we're learning more about ibuprofen's potentially negative effect on young men and their fertility. A study published in the Journal of the National Academy of Sciences found that when ibuprofen is taken in doses commonly used by athletes, a small percentage of young men developed a hormonal condition that usually does not begin, if at all, until middle age. Now, this condition is linked often to reduced fertility. The new study is a continuation of research that actually began with pregnant women.
All right, on to sports now. Yes, as he said, an exciting game for the college football national championship. It ended early this morning. In the end, Alabama benched their quarterback at halftime, and a freshman came in to throw this perfect 41-yard pass. This clinched it 26-23 over Georgia. This came right after Georgia made a field goal to take possession and lead the game in overtime. So this is 5 titles in 9 years for Alabama. The coach, Nick Saban, has now tied legendary Alabama coach with 6 titles. He also won one before he joined Alabama when he coached LSU. Even with the Tide taking last night's title game, UCF is still claiming they're the national champions. The unbeaten Knights even got the support of Governor Scott, who signed a proclamation declaring UCF as the 2017 college football champions of Florida. Little distinction there. The Knights finished the season 13-0, the only undefeated team in Division I, capping it off with a Peach Bowl victory over Auburn last week. Auburn themselves beat Alabama and Georgia, so this is another reason why UCF thinks they're the best ones and they should be the champs.
That's right. Sometimes it's a confusing landscape out there when it comes to college football playoffs. Who exactly is who is a state championship?
We'll update the day's top local news headlines next, and don't worry, these chilly alligators are not in bad shape.
The craziest story you're going to hear all morning. We're going to tell you about the viral video showing how these cold-blooded creatures stay alive in frozen ponds. It's a crazy video right after this.
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC 7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
And here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Detectives in Sarasota and Manatee County think the same armed robber is behind 3 local holdups. They arrested this guy, Joshua Rohrbaugh, after comparing surveillance video.
Plus, more than 200,000 Salvadorian immigrants could find themselves without legal status in just a few short months. The Trump administration says the country has recovered enough from earthquakes that rattled the nation back in 2001 to remove that protection.
And in sports, Alabama came back to win the National College Championship in overtime last night. They switched quarterbacks at halftime, and a freshman led the Crimson Tide to a 26-23 win. One issue right now to report in traffic out there east of the interstate, Lakewood Ranch Boulevard accident near Switchgrass Trail. Beware of that. Otherwise, all clear right now across most of the Suncoast roads. John?
First alert weather morning on the Suncoast for some scattered showers that are in progress. Look for a chance of rainfall for the next couple of hours. Then again around 3 p.m. there'll be a chance of rainfall with a little bit of cloud cover. We'll be updating our first alert weather app coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, finally this morning, from iguanas freezing and falling from the trees to cold stunned sea turtles, we've learned a lot about cold weather behavior of creatures. Now take a look at this one. Amazing video that's gone viral. This is real. From a North Carolina swamp park, the Shallot River Swamp Park posted this clip, how alligators survive in a frozen pond. According to this video, they essentially freeze in place, keeping their noses just above the surface for air. And this is the crazy part. Experts say these cold-blooded gators, they instinctively know when the water is about to freeze, so they can time it just right to get their noses above the water as it turns to ice. Isn't that amazing? I just want to keep watching this video. It's so fascinating.
You promised amazing video, and you came through.
Yes.
Enjoy your Tuesday, folks. Here's a peek outside at the beautiful skyline there. Enjoy it. Should be a beautiful day.
All right, stick around. Good Morning America is coming up next.